Week 74 on the Real DVD Watchers. It's Tuesday. I'm going to review a film that I watched yesterday. I've seen it before, but I rewatched it yesterday. It's a film by Paul Thomas Anderson. It was his first film. It's Hardeight, starring Philip Baker Hall, John C. Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Samuel L. Jackson. Philip Seymour Hoffman actually makes a small appearance in this film as well. It was his first film, and it was chopped up by the studios. And they wanted to cut it down a bit, and they wanted to cut out loads of bits and change up some of the narrative and some of the story, and he didn't want to do that, so he refused, and they did it anyway. I'm not too sure about that. He wanted to call it Sydney as well, named after Philip Baker Hall's character, but they had to change it to Hardeight for some reason. I don't know too much about that. I don't think there's any special features talking about it on here, but yeah, the film is about Sydney, played by Philip Baker Hall, who walks up to John C. Reilly's character John, and he's sat outside a diner, and Sydney walks up to him and buys him a cup of coffee and gives him a cigarette and says, "We go to Vegas. I'm going to tell you how to get a room really cheap and live really cheap, and hardly spend any money at all, and just skim stuff off the top." And they form a very father-son like bond, and it jumps ahead 2 years, and he falls for a cocktail waitress who is sometimes a prostitute, Gwyneth Paltrow. Her character, I forgot her name now. Clementine, that's it. How could I forget that? And Samuel L. Jackson is a friend of John's. He plays Jimmy. And Sydney doesn't really like Jimmy that much. The film is very, very good. It's obviously not Paul Thomas Anderson's best. In fact, it's the weakest that I've seen of his. There's two that I haven't seen of his films. It is the weakest of his that I have seen, and it'll probably stay that way. Although, I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love yet. That's the only one that, if it doesn't click with me, it might. I'm doubting it. I'm doubting it will. I'm doubting it will go below this. But if it doesn't click with me, then it might. But this is a really, really great film. It's a great little. It's a great little character drama piece, and it goes in a direction that I didn't expect it to go the first time I watched it, and it becomes very, very good. It showed a lot of promise for his other films. My favourite of his films is Magnolia, probably always will be my favourite of his films. Boogie Nights I've already reviewed on this channel, and Boogie Nights is fantastic. I have not seen Punch Drunk Love or There Will Be Blood, but they are on their way to me, so hopefully I'll see them very soon. But this, I definitely recommend this. It's a very little known film, even sometimes to his fans. But I would definitely recommend seeking this out and seeing it, especially if you're a fan of P.T. Anderson and you haven't seen this one. Yeah, that's it really. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.